Hello, this is Wheeled and Well Armed. Today we're going to do a tabletop comparison between a CZ Shadow2 and a SAR K12 Sport. So just looking at both of them, both of these are single action only. This originally was not. The CZ, I converted it. It has the Armory Craft single action only trigger. All internal parts, springs, everything is completely original. I did pull out all the parts at the very beginning, and again at 5,000 rounds, and sanded, polished, honed them down to perfectly mirror-like finishes. First of all, it's had 5,000 rounds shot through it, and it's been polished twice. But we'll just take a look at the outside, and we will compare the triggers, but definitely will have a leg up for the CZ Shadow2. It does have the Armory Craft grips on it. If you look, there is the Picatinny rail with one notch in it. The profile has the CZ bump in it. You can see the extra high cut and profile, and longer beaver tail. The serrations are 25 cuts per inch. Same with the back. But notice particularly how the trigger guard is different, or it looks more like the 85 in the way that it's kind of rounded at the bottom. Notice there's a bit more of an undercut here and here for that top finger just to lock in, where the SAR is a bit smaller here. Also, the SAR 85 doesn't have the bump that the Shadow2 has. Also, the beaver tail is smaller. The hammer, I think I like the hammer a little bit more on the SAR. Also, the safety is much smaller on the left-hand side than that's a much more of a shelf on the SAR. And then the triggers are considerably different. This is a flat trigger, where this is a curved trigger, but not a hook trigger. The SAR does not have the Picatinny rail at all up front. And looking at the serrations, they're almost identical to both pistols. The CZ85 does come with the fiber optic front, and it's only adjustable for height and not windage. Notice on the CZ85, this one is pushed slightly more to the right than it originally came with, and you know, that's how you have to adjust the windage on the CZ85. Looking at the other side, now here on the SAR, this is fully adjustable, both windage and elevation, and the front sight is a black sight. There is striations on the back side, anti-glare, and on the back of this, it's there's a little bit of anti-glare as well. The controls are much larger on both sides, and then on the slide release, it's about the same, almost identical slide releases. Now on this side of the guns, notice how the CZ came with the extended paddle for the mag release, where the SAR is a button but just as high. We can look at that from up top. Say the CZ is slightly higher. Looking at both of them from up top. Now, this is a big difference. Notice how they both eject. This is the SAR. Really pops it out there. Now we'll check out the CZ. Oh, there it goes. It sort of pops it out there. Let's take a look at the Magwell. Here's the Magwell. There is a large ledge. I would say this needs to be dremeled out a good bit. The Magwell is some type of hard plastic, some kind of polymer, but you can see there definitely needs to be. It goes in pretty good, but you know, a lot of that is the Magwell. That's actually the magazine is the funnel. Where on the Shadow 2, there's nothing there. So you're just dependent on the magazine being the funnel. There is just a little bit of a bevel on the inside. There is the lip on the SAR. So this has a large Magwell, but this is not at all cut down or made easy for the magazine. Somebody in competition would really want to work on that. Right. Now we'll compare the weight of the two. First of all, the CZ. This is with the magazine. We're at 46.5 ounces, or 1,319 grams. So that's 46.5 or 1,319 grams. The SAR is 45.7, so slightly lighter, and in grams it's 1296. So the CZ is heavier in both. We'll pull up the slide and compare the slides. Alright, now we're going to weigh the slides. So first of up, the SAR slide weighs 489 grams, or 17.2 ounces. The CZ weighs 18.4 ounces, or 523 grams. So 523 grams versus 489 grams. So the CZ is heavier on the slide. While we got this out, let's look at the machining. So the barrel the spring comes out, full length, guide rod, spring, mag. The barrel comes out, two lug, nice and shiny, good looking barrel, never shot. Let's see if it's octagonal. So it's not a polygonal, it's a typical ribs and grooves. The CZ, pulling that out, does have the full length, but typical CZ, it's a bit smaller. Black barrel, pretty much. Let's look at those barrel profiles together. Boy, almost identical. Let's see how they look. Profile together. Pretty much identical. Wonder if one would fit in the other. I'll try that off camera. Really snug in there. Let's look in here for any machine marks, anything. So this does have the firing pin block in it, where the CZ doesn't. There's no firing pin block in the CZ. There is the channel there. It's deeper. All right. Now they're back together. We'll take the alignment trigger gauge and do some trigger pulls, but first we'll compare the differences in the trigger itself. There's no double action to show, it's a single action only. This will be much more, it's had a lot more shot through it and a lot more polishing. 1 pound, 0.9 ounces. 2 pounds, 0.7 ounces. 2 pounds, 14 ounces. 1 pound, 11 ounces. 2 pounds even. 1 pound, 0.8 ounce. And the average, 1 pound, 12 ounces. So that's two very good guns. One has been used, polished all internals twice at the very beginning at 5,000 rounds, put a single action only trigger in. Other than that, all parts and everything else in the Shadow 2 are original. Firing pin's original, firing pin spring, every single thing in the Shadow 2 is original. Salzamar just came from the factory, opened it up yesterday, haven't shot around through it with COVID-19 pandemic, haven't been out. But anyway, it's two fine guns, the trigger averaging about 4 pounds and just under 2 pounds on the Shadow 2. So the Shadow 2 is definitely the winner with the single action only trigger, but both fine guns. I'll polish all the internals on the SAR USA K12 Sport, and we'll see how that does. There are not a lot of aftermarket parts for the SAR USA, but now they're imported in through Opelika or Auburn, Alabama. We should see a lot more of these coming into the States. Also, I've heard plans from SAR USA that they're going to be opening up a factory in West Georgia to manufacture those here in the States. So stay tuned. I think we should be expecting a lot more from SAR USA. And of course, CZ leads the way. Have a great day. This is Willed and Well Armed, and please like, subscribe if you stayed on this long, and we'll be having a whole lot more videos coming up. And as an Eagle Scout, be prepared.